Welcome to another The Listening. But look, we have special producer today, Kato, on the track. If you don't know who he is, I'm going to give him...
He did have that last time. It kind of popped in the voice real quick. I think it's fine, though.
Gotcha. But we'll give y'all a formal introduction. I'm going to let that, everybody slowly but surely jump into the live. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to ask my brethren, how y'all been, man? Y'all
been
good?
Great, man. How about you, man?
Man, I've been better.
I'm about to say, shit got better, huh?
Bruh,
cleared up?
Had to go to the doctor, got, the extra strength, antibiotics, you know what I'm saying? So I've been good ever since.
That's what's up.
I've been good.
That's what's up.
Remy is been a lot of growth, in the last 2-3 weeks, man. The man got phrases now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I left today, he's like, when you gonna be back? I'm like, whoa, how did you learn to say that? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but everything's good. Everything's good. That's what I'm saying. How about you, Modest? Everything good? How the business?
It's good, man. Life is great. Nigga say sensational.
Life is great. Sensational, good.
Nah, really, I've been busy, bro. Like, I just shot a movie.
Okay.
So that was dope. I did that on Saturday, and then Sunday I did. I had another project I had to do, and then Monday I had to go to Orlando and do a project. Like, yeah, man, it's been crazy, bro. It's been crazy.
That's good. That's good problems.
Yeah, for sure. I've been busy.
How you been?
I've been cool. Shout out to the person that are from Australia.
Man.
Okay.
Down under.
Okay.
Down under.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
That's what's up.
Well, look, without further ado, we have Kato on the track. If you didn't know, he's a producer. Originally from Fairfax, Virginia, but moved to the ATL back in 2006. So he's an AT alien. You know what I'm saying? Especially with everybody that he has worked with. So just to give you some names that he has worked with. He's worked with Dizzy Wright, Hobson, Jarren, Benton, Roscoe Dash, Ritz, Little Scrappy, Kalina. Hold on, I got some more too. Tyga, Joyner Lucas, B.O.B., K-Camp, Tory Lanez, Snoop Dogg, E40, Trouble, J Park, Master Killer, and Inspector Deck.
Hey, do the knowledge. What you say, B?
Hey, do the knowledge, bro. Do the knowledge.
Put some respect on that man.
Hey, you got to put some respect on this man. This man went from homeless to 30 million TikTok views. You know what I'm saying? None other than Kato on the track.
I can.
He loved it. He loved it. We need them burn.
Let's go. That's a hell of an intro.
We need them burn.
Appreciate it. I appreciate you being on here, man.
Of course, man. It was long overdue. I'm sure the Dead End Hip Hop, like the day ones, remember our first, the first time we connected. But yeah, man, good to be back with y'all.
Yeah. Speaking of that, if y'all the day ones, man, we did a collab project with SMKA.
Yeah.
And
a hangout.
The hangout. It was really dope, man. It's kind of like this. Like we had like a little house studio situation where a bunch of producers came in and created music. Really dope vibe, man.
Fort Knox was kind of spearheading the freestyle in the living room.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's just crazy. Shout out to Fort Knox.
Hey, them were the days, man.
Legend.
That's that blog era, them blog era days.
Yep.
Straight up.
Good times.
Yeah, man. So Kato,
Yes,
I've already listed all of the artists that you've worked with, but I think that a lot of people probably know you the most from the Funk Volume days. So talk a little bit about, the artist that was involved and how that kind of got started.
Yeah, I got brought into the Funk Volume situation by way of working with Jarren Benton. He was one of the first artists that I linked up with when I moved to Atlanta from Philly by way of Virginia. And, we just started cooking, working on music together in the studio, and eventually kind of took off, went viral. Before going viral was was really a thing. And that's how it caught the attention of Hobson. And I can remember he flew Jarren out a couple times to some of the shows, and then as soon as you know it, Jarren signed a Funk Volume. And then about a year later, Dame, who kind of handled all the business on the Funk Volume side, he reached out to me and offered me a production deal. And from there, it was just, it was a hell of a ride.
Yeah. Now I remember.
I remember Dame.
Yeah. We dealt with Dame a couple times. That era of Funk Volume, TDE, Logic had something. We had J. Cole getting Dreamville, situated. I feel like that blog era time, we've had internal conversations. I feel like that is the next best era of hip hop since the golden era, like the 96 time. Like, to me, like, that era of hip hop can definitely rival that time, that golden era.
I agree with you. I mean, there was just a lot of good music at that time. But then again, I always feel like it's just because, we were living in it. You know what I mean? Like, we were living in that era of the J. Cole's and of the Funk Volume and the peak of like TDE and it was just like, the kids now who are the age that we were in that era probably feel like this era is the best era of music.
I hope not.
It's just different. It's just different. And I've come to accept the fact that, I appreciate all different kinds of music for what it is. I might not necessarily be a fan or listen to it myself, but I appreciate all music, especially the era of music that we're in right now. It's different from the blog era of music, but I still like a lot of the music that comes out now.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. I feel like music today, there's a lot of artists that are dope. There's a lot of them that I don't particularly care for. You know what I'm saying? But, we are older cats now. I think, we are the uncles and the OGs of the game.
Which is crazy to say.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy, because I still feel young at heart. But, you look at some of the young people like, what are you doing? Like, nah, like maybe 20 years ago. But, you've had a lot of TikTok success. Like,
really?
Yeah, like you've been going crazy on TikTok. So kind of, I watched the interview where you were talking about a song that went viral. I'm gonna let you go ahead and do your spiel, but talk about like your TikTok success.
Oh man, it was just so it started shortly after the pandemic, and I credit a lot of it to just the timing because we were all locked inside of our houses. No one had shit to do other than just being on their phone all day. And so I think the timing had a lot to do with it. And I just kind of caught a wave of like sharing my beats on TikTok and opening them up for people to do duets, which is like the little split screen thing where you can add your own, freestyles or sing on top of whatever. And I just started posting all my beats during that time. And one of them took off, and as soon as that first one took off, it was a song called "So Pretty," which was an 18-year-old girl in Australia had duetted one of the beats that I posted, and man, like within a couple months of that happening, I'd went from like a couple hundred followers on TikTok to over 250,000 followers. And just because of the virality of that sound, it led to, record deals like sliding in my DMs and my inbox. I actually had a Zoom call with Craig Callum of Atlantic Records. Like, it was just such a wild, like everything that happened from that moment was just so crazy to me. And then I became the top 5 most duetted artists on TikTok for 2021. Right there with like Taylor Swift, Billie Eilish, it was just crazy to see my name up there with like the biggest artists in the world. And all thanks to TikTok.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Some of the other artists that you've worked with, right? Like, obviously, I know all of the Atlanta artists and stuff like that, but you know, when I was doing research to do the intro, I'm like, Snoop Dogg, E40?
Yeah,
I didn't know. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, how did that situation come about? Because that's you. Snoop Dogg is like literally the grandfather of fucking hip hop. Like,
Facts.
That dude is everywhere. He don't miss no checks.
Facts.
You know, so for somebody like that, personally, I know that, you know, you had a whole bunch of ups and downs to link up and do music with Snoop, and then also the Bay legend E40. How did that? Like, that's crazy.
Man, I mean, first of all, Snoop, I want to say, is probably arguably the most recognizable figure in hip hop.
Yep.
You know, like, people don't know, but he's transitioned his brand into such a iconic status, you know, that I don't think people give him his flowers for that. But yeah, I mean, it started with E40 just slid in my DMs one day and he was like, yo, I love what I've heard from you. I'm working on this project, this secret project with Snoop Dogg, Too Short, Ice Cube, and myself. It's called Mount Westmore.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, is this real? Like, is this because like for 4 West Coast legends to come together like that and create a super group, it was just like so outside of the realm of possibility for me. But regardless, I sent him a pack of beats immediately, and one of the tracks in there ended up becoming their first single, Big Subwoofer. And you know, I had the hook already on there from my boy Crash. Shout out to Crash. And 40 told me that they were in the studio cutting it, and literally within a couple days he was like, yo, the record's done, like we might actually want to push this one as our first single. So it was just such a huge blessing, man.
That's what's up. How have you seen kind of like the success domino into other things? So like, how did that daisy chain to like something bigger? Like, what was the next big thing after that?
I think the biggest thing that probably came from, you know, all the TikTok momentum in general was the brand deals. So, you know, once I got to a certain like level of visibility on TikTok, man, I was getting reach outs from the biggest Fortune 500 companies in the world, like wanting to do something, you know, wanting me to take their sound or a jingle and flip it and turn it into an open verse challenge for artists. And like, probably within 12 months of all of that happening, you know, I had $250,000 worth of brand deals that came in. So it was pretty nuts. That was probably the biggest thing that happened from all the TikTok success.
Dope.
Damn. It's
Then Trump tried to get rid of TikTok.
yeah, he
You know what I'm
did.
saying? Shit. This shit's crazy.
So they out there making too much money, man.
I mean, I think that's exactly why he won't shut down TikTok, is because too many people are making money off of it. You know, so it would be a problem. It'd make him the most unpopular president ever if he
got rid of it.
If he got rid of it, exactly.
Yep. All right, so look, we talked about E40, Snoop Dogg, all the Atlanta artists. So the old song you picked is the old faithful, Mr. Jarren Benton.
Yes, sir.
The song is called Schizo. So go ahead and intro that, and why did you select that song?
Man, I picked the song because, you know, still to this day, people tell me like, yo, Kato, the first time I heard of your production was on Schizo, and that immediately made me a fan of your music. So, you know, I still get those comments to this day. And Schizo was the first song that me and Jarren kind of took off with, and ultimately ended up getting him signed to Funk Volume, and then setting off the whole snowball effect of me getting signed and then everything else after that. So I credit a lot of my early success to this song.
That's what's up. All right, here we go. At some point, oh, did I get it? Oh, let me get the music. Oops. Hold on.
That's a little preview of the second song.
Yeah.
Dang.
There we go.
You a fucking liar, faggot, never slung a guama crack. Bash your fucking window when I drag you out the Pontiac. Tell your mom the zombies back, fucking hypochondriac. Gag a bitch and shove her in the dryer at the laundromat. Cocaine insomniac, sipping.
Oh man,
that took me all the way back.
Yeah,
bro.
it did. It did. Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. That definitely took me back to the A3C, bro.
Yeah,
man.
A3C hip hop.
Yes, sir. That took me back to that. But look, everybody in the chat, super chats are open. So whatever you want to ask Kato, go ahead and send that super chat, and we'll get to it toward the end of the listening. So go ahead and send that in.
What up?
But yeah, nah, that's definitely a great pick. I didn't know that was the one that kind of snowballed into y'all success.
Yeah, that's the one that popped it off for sure.
That's what's up.
That is crazy, bro.
Yeah. Wild boy, man.
Yeah, so to go from that to what we're about to listen to is a full 180 for me, which is why, I picked this second song that we're gonna get into.
Okay, well, shit, we could go into it right now because you kind of, what I'm saying, you went right there.
Yeah.
So, this joint is from Lecrae, Heaven Sent. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Kato's worked with a lot of people. Yeah, I know. I know.
He set it up. He set it up good.
From just even the track name, Schizo to Heaven Sent, like
right.
That's a big, what I'm saying?
He telling a story here.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Taking y'all on a journey.
Oh, man.
I'm a storyteller. I see it.
Yeah. But this joint right here, why did you pick this one?
I mean, so we just dropped this record probably, I want to say a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. It's Lecrae and Miles Minnick, who is a really, really dope Christian artist, Christian rapper out in the West Coast. And this is my latest release. And I wanted to share this one because number one, it's just a dope record. For any like real kind of like crate diggers or real hip hop heads, you might recognize part of a sample that was interpolated in this instrumental. So I'm curious to see who in the chat might recognize what I'm talking about. I'm proud of this record just because it was my first record with Lecrae, and it kind of demonstrates, my versatility just production wise, and they just went crazy. Like they snapped, and I feel like Christian hip hop right now is just having such a huge moment, and I'm seeing a lot of artists in that space getting a lot of recognition that they rightfully deserve. And I think Christian music and Christian hip hop is like really on the rise right now. I've been working with a lot of artists in that space, so just proud of this record, and shout out to Lecrae and Miles.
What's up?
All right, we go for real. Hold on. That's not. I know. I'm not used to using script.
Back out the hearse. Yeah, they want to see me crash out or worse. They don't get it though, that faith really works. go mode. Miles probably call it glow mode. Throw a net over the side, get a Volo. Yeah, we still 40 deep, never solo. Peacemaker with the Northeast.
Oh. I'm trying to think if I know it.
I don't, but the two step that I had, you know what I'm saying, going in my head, you know what I'm saying, like, man.
I think I do, but I don't want to say it.
Why not? Just say it.
I mean, you know. I call it sample snitching, bro.
Don't say it if you know that. You don't say it.
I'm thinking, Lecrae, your mic is mute.
Not like Craig.
I mean, shit, Kato. Damn,
my bad.
You guys.
Hang on. I got the little. Okay, cool. Yeah. So the sample is actually an interpolation. So it's not. I didn't sample it directly, but it's from the Lafayette Afro rock band, which was used in the Jay-Z record.
Show me what you got.
Show me what you got. That's it.
I was going with
Rump Shaker.
I don't know if you remember, not Rump. Damn, maybe Rump Shaker. I was thinking Back to the Hotel by N2 Deep. I think it's N2 Deep. I think that's what I was thinking.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I would have been wrong.
So I, instead of like sampling, because it's such a recognizable sample, I did an interpolation and changed a couple of the notes, but we still had to end up giving them part of the publishing on it, even if it was interpolated. So
That's
it is what it is.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know that. Damn, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So were you trying to get around it by doing that and still ended up having to do it? It's okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
Which now makes me feel like we should have. I mean, I don't know, because sampling the original record, we would have had to get master clearance on it, which is a whole different thing.
Okay. That's what I was going to ask next.
Yeah. But it's part of the game.
Yeah.
That is definitely like a complete opposite of schizo.
Yeah.
To have something that's higher energetic and frenetic like that, to this to have this bounce West Coast type vibe, that shows a lot of range as a producer.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, and then speaking of like producing, man, like for that reason that you said about the sampling, do you try to stay away from sampling just because of that reason, or like how do you approach the production?
Man, I'm definitely, more conscious of the fact, because being in the music business for so long now, I understand what happens when you sample a record and potentially the costs and the liability behind that if you don't get it cleared. So I'm very, very well aware of that side of things. But at the same time, I just let the music dictate, where the song should go. So if I feel like, if I use a sample and it just sounds right, then
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah. So I don't trip too much about it. I mean, sampling is a part of hip hop. And sometimes you can't like replicate that feeling by interpolating it. So yeah, I mean, I love it.
Yeah, but you definitely did a great job interpolating that, because that shit had like a crazy bounce, a crazy vibe to it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not something I would have thought Lecrae would rap over. You know what I'm saying? Just based off of, what I remember. Okay, it's been a minute since I tapped into Lecrae's music, but I know we've done a couple of reviews and stuff, but that's not the vibe I thought he'd be on, but dope nonetheless.
Yeah.
I'm excited to share the other records that I got with Lecrae, because it's the same thing. Like, people have not heard him in this way before, and so I'm super, super excited to release the other ones too.
Yeah, but that's always been the dope thing about Lecrae, right? Like, where we know he's a Christian rapper, but he's not preachy at all. Like, it's always like lyrics, hip hop first, and then everything else second, if you catch it. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of those ones where it's like, somebody would have played that for me and not tell me it was Lecrae. First of all, I wouldn't have known it was him. And secondly, like, I wouldn't have thought it was Christian at all. You know
right. Exactly. Yeah. People, I mean, bro, Lecrae is that dude.
He is.
He put Christian rap on his back and like carried that torch for a long time. So, you know, at this point, like, I consider him an OG of that, you know, genre, because he's been doing it for so long, and he's just a great artist, you know, period.
So were you in the studio with him, or was this like you sent it to him and then, you know, one of those?
This one I sent to him. I had connected with him probably a couple years ago, and we exchanged contacts, and so I just started like sending him a bunch of beats, and then one day he replied and he was like, yo, is this one still open? And literally within days he had it recorded, done, and he was like, yo, I want to drop this, like, let's put this out.
Dope.
That's how
in studio, who would you say is one of your favorite people to work with?
This nigga asking all the questions, bro. I swear, like, this is the whole format. I don't understand. We had 50 millions about the list. This nigga asking all the questions.
People, let them fly, people. Let them fly, people. I ain't mad at you, bro. Let them fly, people. Let them fly.
He's in main character mode.
Yo, he in main character mode. I'm glad you recognize that. I have to check him every listening. Every listening, I have to stop this man, because I'm just swiping off all of my questions. Like, damn, he took that one. Now I ain't got no question to ask the artist.
Man.
Yeah.
It's all good.
No, that's a good question. You know what? I'd probably have to say I always have a good time when I'm in the studio with B.O.B. Because he's just such a talented artist. So seeing his process is always just like a learning experience for me, to just like understand how different artists work, you know? I mean, I've seen this man record like 10 songs in an hour. He'll just jump in the booth and just start rapping, like not even writing shit down. He'll just go in there and just start doing his thing. And so just watching him work is such a special like experience.
Got you. See, I had that question, but I was going to ask like your top 5 people you've worked with over the time.
Top 5?
Yeah, top 5.
Are we talking about like just my favorite top 5 songs, or top 5 like experiences?
I like just like, yo, I love, like how you just said you love working with B.O.B. or whatever. Just like, you know, just like, yeah, your top 5 artists just, you know, you like working with, just you feel like the production just and it was like a marriage or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying, when y'all worked together.
I'd say number 1 would definitely have to be Jarren, because we just have such a dope relationship and a history, and so working with him is always just easy, because we're always on the same page. I don't know if I have 5, but I will say number 2 probably. There's another Christian artist named Nobigdyl, who me and him have a whole project coming together. So we locked into a Airbnb for 5 days and recorded like 10 songs, and it was just like, it was so effortless, and the vibes were dope. And it was just a great experience. So that'd probably be number 2, and then I'd put Bob at number 3. Bob at number 3.
Cool. 3. Wow, that's dope, man.
That's what's up. All right, well, you know, you mentioned them, so we're gonna go there. No big deal. How did you guys connect?
We connected. No Big Deal did a duet on one of my beats on TikTok during the pandemic. That was the first time that I heard of him. And I was like, yo, this dude is dope. So we connected somehow after that. And then sometime last year, I saw that someone tagged me in one of his posts. And so I went to his post and he had said, yo, like tag a producer that I should work with. And one of his fans tagged me. And I was immediately like, yes, let's do it. Like, let's lock in, let's make some music. So he hit me, we exchanged contacts, figured out a time for him to come to Atlanta. We rented a whole ass Airbnb for like 5 days, locked in, slept there, ate there, like didn't leave the house at all until we had about like 10 songs done. And we just did an entire EP in that Airbnb. And,
wow. Damn.
Yeah, that's the project that we're getting ready to release. So I'm really, really excited about this music. So this song that we're about to play is the first single. Y'all are the very first people on earth.
That's the way you do it.
Yes,
that's the way you do it.
Y'all are getting the exclusive.
That's how you set it up, right? That's how you set the shit up, right? You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
I love it, Kato. I love the way you set that up, bro.
For real. That's why we Feefo job. You know what I'm saying?
No, no, Kato, you set that up so perfect, bro. Because like, when we do these unreleased joints, it's like, look, this is
right.
The world is hearing this for the first time on this platform, bro.
First time. Nobody outside of our circle has heard this song in this finished form. So this is our first single, me and No Big Deal, featuring Project Pat. Called Never Going Back.
Oh, now you oohing.
What was you about to say?
Hey, I'm always excited.
I keep 2 hitters on the road, that's the hood in me. Pray to God every day, he put that good in me. I keep 2 hitters on the road, that's the hood in me.
Long as I got sort of spirit, know that I can never lack. Know the Lord, he go before me.
Hey. Pastor Pat, man. Pastor Pat.
Pastor Pat.
Pastor Pat, bro.
That's the West Coast dude. Of course not.
No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. He a West Coast. Yes, West Coast.
He actually, he lives in Nashville now. I don't know where he's originally from, but he's in Nashville.
Yeah, that was fire.
Yeah, that was dope.
And I remember Project Pat. I remember it was some video of him preaching like at a church.
Yeah. That's why I say Pastor Pat, because I saw him and he out there preaching now.
Yeah. So this is like right at damn.
Exactly. Yeah. He's going to prisons and speaking in prison. So yeah, he's turned over a new leaf, and I love to see it. And he was a perfect fit for the record. We got him in the music video too, which is crazy.
Oh man.
So yeah, it's gonna be wild.
Man, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
thank you
when you dropping the music video.
What's that?
When you dropping the music video?
Same day as the single. So
okay.
Yeah, it'll be out this month.
That's what's up. I appreciate the exclusive listen, man. Yeah. No, that was dope. That was dope. For sure. Yeah. Got that Pastor Pat verse.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Right here on Dead Hip Hop, kid. You know what I'm
Legend.
I know. He's
Pastor.
Bro, that was great.
Yeah, that bounce was crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
No, you definitely did your thing on there. And No Big Deal. We definitely got to check him out. Like, I'd never heard of him. This is my first intro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this is a fire way to be introduced to, up and coming artists. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, really Kato, real quick, I want to ask you: are you one of the type of producers? I know I've heard producers bring this up a lot sometimes, where they be like, "Oh, I hate hearing my old beats or stuff that you made." Like for instance, we put Benton joints. Is that when you hear that beat? Is it cringe for you, or you be like, "Oh man, that was some good shit I made back then"? Like,
honestly, nah. I appreciate everything for the moment that it was created in. You know what I mean? Like that schizo lives in its own moment, and I have such an appreciation for that moment and what it gave to me, and the opportunities that it created. So I listened to that and I'm like, yo, I kind of snapped on that beat. I still feel that way. Like I'm proud of everything that we've done together. And so no, I don't feel like it's cringe whenever I hear some of my old production. I mean, some of it's like, you know, could have changed that snare or maybe like changed that hat, but overall I'm like, I'm pretty proud of what we've done, you know?
Okay. That's what's up. Just wanted to ask you that.
Yeah.
Who do you have in the pipeline now that you're scheduled to be working with, and also who are artists that you have not worked with, not in the pipeline, that you want to work with?
So I got more records with Lecrae and Miles Minnick.
Okay.
I got a whole project dropping with No Big Deal. Those are two right there that I'm super, super excited about, both in the Christian world, which I never would have anticipated happening. But you know, that's just how it ended up, and I'm happy that it did. Artists that I haven't worked with yet. Honestly, there's a lot of female rappers that I would love to work with. I think female rappers right now are killing it. Just like they're coming with different flows and styles and deliveries, and like I just think it would be fun to lock in and work with some of them. I love Bia. I think Bia is super dope. Who else? Yeah, man. I mean, there's a lot of artists. I would love to work with Russ. I think Russ is super dope.
I think y'all styles are mesh.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. We connected. We met once, an artist that I was working with named Caitlin. She signed to Russ for a little bit and they went on tour together, and I pulled up on her and got to meet Russ, and you know, crazy story. Actually, Funk Volume almost ended up signing Russ way back in the day.
Wow.
People don't know that because it was like kind of happening behind the scenes, but this was obviously way before he took off and blew up on his own. But we had the opportunity to sign him, and we didn't pull the trigger on that. So someone fucked up. But yeah, I think those are two artists that I would love to work with.
That's what's up.
That's dope. Do you feel like you have like, or I guess, do you feel like you're influenced by the times with how you produce music, or do you just kind of stick with a certain underlining style with your production? Like how are you creative with that process?
I just try to stay creative, and then whatever happens, you know, like obviously I listen to a lot of music. I listen to the new stuff. By the way, someone in the comments said Glow. I would love to work with Glorilla. Me and Glorilla would do some crazy shit together.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I obviously listen to the production that comes out now, but you know, I just, when I sit down to make music, it just, whatever comes to me, and I just go off the feeling. You know, if it feels good, then I stick with it. And then sonically, I feel like, you know, music and production is always changing. So I do try to keep up with like the newest tools and hardware and software and plugins, and just like experiment, you know. I'm not afraid to experiment because I've been doing this for so long. So I think experimentation is really, really important, and just staying open to trying new things, trying new tools and workflows, and collaborating with other people. Like I'm really, really big on collaboration now. I don't try to do it all myself like I used to do. Back in the Jarren days, I was like, no, I'm going to make the beat. I'm going to make it all by myself. I'm not going to use loops. I'm going to mix it myself. I'm going to engineer you. I'm going to record you. And I was just kind of like stuck on trying to do everything. But now I'm like, hey, the more people, the better, you know, because I can't do it all myself. Like these people might have ideas that I don't have. So I'm very, very big on collaboration now.
I saw somebody in the chat just say Jid, man. I think that'd be a good collaboration too.
Yeah, Jid, me and Jid would. Yeah, that would be dumb.
Yeah. You know how we were talking about, you know, we were all affiliated with that blog era Atlanta. The new wave Atlanta, I feel, can definitely use a lot of Kato production. Jid being one of them, the Kenny Masons, the Grips, like that wave of Atlanta, I really feel could really fuck with your beats.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, you know, I still have fun with it. You know, I'm here 15 years later, just still enjoying the process of making music. And I'm just grateful to still be here and still be making music and still experimenting and progressing and trying to get better every day. So I think as long as I do that, the opportunities will continue to happen for me to work with more artists, you know?
Yeah. You know, somebody, I wouldn't necessarily say it's like a perfect marriage, but we had her on the listening. Shay said that she would jump on some bouncy shit. Do you think Shay Noir and Kato would be an interesting
I'm still trying to process Shay on something like that.
Me too.
Yeah, so I know she said she did say it.
She did say it.
What's like her style of?
She is like Griselda, 38 Special, like that New York stuff. But she said that she would get bouncy because I asked her. You know what I'm saying? Like we asked her, and she was like, "Yeah, you know, producers typically don't send her that." But she said if somebody did, you know what I'm saying? So
that's the crazy thing, because I feel like, you know, my experience being a producer is artists a lot of times pick the beats that you never expect.
Right.
Yeah. And it's usually the joints that they don't hear very often because producers think that they like a certain style of production. So that's all they get. Right. When they hear something that's kind of outside of the box, a lot of times it inspires different ideas and like the energy is different, you know? So I feel like, I mean, we probably could do some shit together.
Oh, okay. Maybe, you know, throw an alley-oop over there or something.
A&R that, bro.
Hey, I see that guitar.
I was about to
back there. What all instruments do you play?
I taught myself guitar. I mean, I'm not like, you know, a pro level guitar player, but I taught myself how to play guitar back in like middle school. My sister had an acoustic guitar and she wasn't very musically inclined. So one day I just walked into her room and picked it up and just started teaching myself how to play. And that was the first time I realized like I kind of have a inclination to like music. And then learned how to play the drums. And then kind of taught myself like basic chord structures and how to play the keys. So I play a little bit of everything, you know?
Okay. Was your move to Christian rappers, is that something that just kind of naturally happened for you in terms of your creative career?
Yeah, that was completely unintentional. But when I first linked up with Lecrae, he was already familiar with me through the Mount Westmore record that I did with Snoop, 40 Short, and Ice Cube. So he heard that I produced that, and he was like, "Yo, we gotta work on some stuff." So it just so happened that we linked up at the right time, and I just started sending him beats. So it completely organic.
Yeah, because, you know, No Big Deal and some other guys you had mentioned that you were working with. So, I was just wondering if, that's dope to hear that happen like that.
Yeah, I'm telling y'all, Christian music, it's a movement right now.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, I just see so many Christian artists on the radar that are coming up right now, and they're killing it, selling out entire arena tours, and it's kind of like flying under the radar, but they're killing it right now.
There was a guy that Feefo and I reviewed.
It was with Zaytoven.
Yeah, he did Zaytoven. He's from Atlanta too, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to find the project.
He signed to Reach. The artist is
it was called Pray for Atlanta. 1K Few.
1K Few.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
He signed to Reach.
Yeah, because when me and Ken first heard that, I didn't know it was Christian at all.
Yeah.
You know, like the beats, obviously Zaytoven, so it didn't sound like it. And then the message was so like between the lines, a lot like what Lecrae does, where it wasn't like I had to like first like because I didn't put it together. And then when you look at the album cover, and then some of the stuff he was saying, I'm like, wait, hold on.
Yeah,
like, did he bamboozle me in a great way? Like, what is going on?
There's degrees to it.
Yep.
Right. Like some artists have kind of Christian undertones to their records. Some are a lot more just like straight up, you know, barring out over God, which is cool. Like both are dope. But there's varying degrees to it, and so you might not even know that you're listening to Christian music.
Yeah. So yeah, that one, it opened my eyes to where Christian music is going 100%. So yeah, I'm surprised but not surprised that you're in that space working with the artists that you're working with. But you know, again, your production is it don't matter. You know, so as long as the artist is dope, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be good.
Right.
So I'm just glad, you know, you working with some super dope people. I have one more question. Any regrets? Any regrets?
Any regrets? Man. I don't. I guess I just don't really operate off of like, you know, thinking about what's already done. And I feel like, I'm sure y'all have heard the same answer, but like, I feel like every decision led me to this point that I'm at today, whether it was good or bad, you know, mistakes that I made or things that I messed up on. All of it led to me being here right now. And like I said, I'm super grateful. I have so much gratitude for like the position that I'm in now that I really don't think about it that much, to be honest, you know? So, no regrets, bro.
That's what's up.
That's a good answer, man.
Yeah. We do have a statement, so Ken will get into that.
Yeah. It's from Athelius, who has said, young white avatar to Fortune 500 brand deal pipeline. Kato got the bag. We got a wild view for the show.
Hell yeah.
Last thing I have, your creative process, is it like rigid? Like, do you wake up and get on the keys at a specific time? Like, is there a certain regimen or anything that you do, like, or you just kind of go with the flow?
There's definitely a regiment to my days. Creatively, whether I sit down and are able to make music every single day, that might vary just depending on what projects I have on my plate, or, you know, if I'm feeling creative or inspired. That part might vary, but I definitely have a routine, a strict routine that I stick to every single day. That includes like waking up, working out, you know, cold plunges. I'm big on health. I think that musicians especially, and people in the music industry, need to pay more mind to their health, because like, let's be honest, it's not the healthiest lifestyle to be sitting in a dark studio just like making music all day. So I try to be active. I eat right. I'm drinking like 2 of these filled with water every single day. My diet, I exercise, and then the rest of the day is kind of dedicated to music, work, sending emails, doing deals, all the business side of what comes with this. So it's good, man. I love having structure.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You look good, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I need that shit. 15 years.
Bro, you look the same as you did when we saw you 15 years ago.
I'm going to put y'all onto that Korean skincare regimen.
Right.
That's all you need. That's the secret right there.
Hey, I want it. Yes, I want it.
Cold plunges too, right?
Yeah.
This man up here aging backwards, dog.
Hey, man, Asians don't raisin.
That's hilarious.
That's
before we get out of here, we close the show with one last question.
Oh, I thought you were gonna ask the question.
Nah, man. He alley-ooped it to you, bro. He alley-ooped it to you, bro.
No look. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. It was just something that it's my closer question, man. It was just something that hit me one day because I've always wondered, like when I see it, with different artists and things like that. But man, what is the story behind your name? Like, how did you get your name? Where did that come from? I'm always interested to know that.
The name came from, y'all remember the Green Hornet?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So who did Bruce Lee play in the 1960s Green Hornet series?
It was Kato, right? His name was his name Kato? Yeah.
That's it. That's where I got my name from. I was a Bruce Lee fanatic growing up because, like, growing up, I didn't really see a lot of Asian stars in the media. Like, there weren't a lot of role models to look up to when I was growing up. And so Bruce Lee was him. He was that guy.
Right.
And I kind of took his name, added on the track at the end, and that was it. That's where I got it from.
When did you decide to put on the track on it? Was it just Kato at one point, or was it always Kato on the track?
It was Kato at one point. It was just Kato, and then I was recording with Jarren one day, and on one of the songs on the intro, I think it was a song called "Shut Up, Bitch." Typical Jarren fashion.
Right.
And in the intro of that song, if you listen to it, he says, Kato on the track, bitch. And so I took that, made it my tag, and it just stuck with people. Like when I would pull up to shows with Jarren, they'd start yelling Kato on the track, and it stuck. So I kept it.
Wow, that's dope, man.
Yeah.
That's dope. But no, it's definitely catchy. It's definitely catchy. Like it's definitely memorable.
Yeah.
Like a memorable name. So yeah, man, dope name.
I actually, funny story, I had to actually edit my tag a little bit to leave out the bitch at the end.
right.
On nobigdyl's project because he's a Christian artist. So we tried to keep the
dang, yeah.
So I had to take that part off my tag, but I was cool with it.
Of course.
Nah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up.
Now we'll be listening for it.
I know.
We'll be listening for it.
Right.
Nah,
yeah.
Kato, we appreciate you, man. Long time.
Straight
you know
up.
what I'm saying? Been big fan of you. Been following. So just perfect timing to come back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And do something. And
I'm glad you're still doing your thing in a big way, man.
Yeah,
for real.
yeah.
It's good to hear, man. For real.
Y'all too. Like, I just want to give y'all your flowers because all of you guys have been, super just consistent with your platform, and to stick around that long, it's very, very rare in our industry, especially in media, you know, because of the pace of how quickly things move,
man,
how it happens. So I just want to give y'all your flowers and the dope platform that you've created for artists and for the culture too. I think it's super, super important. And so, you know, I'm a fan of y'all.
Thank you, bro.
No,
I appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate that. But thank you for giving us your time. We're definitely gonna have you back on in the future. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? We got some other ideas as well with the people that we have with the listening to do other things. But
and real talk, we gotta get him in person, man.
Yeah, no, we
in
gotta
the
get him in
same
person.
city.
Yeah, we in the
like
same
you know what I'm
city.
saying? Like
because he asked, like, should I pull up? I said, hey, it's all you.
Yeah.
Like, you can do it virtual, you can pull up. Like, you know, it's all good.
Yeah.
Next time we'll have to do it in person for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%, 100%. But again, man, appreciate you. We'll have you in the future. Chat. Love you guys, but we'll catch you on the next listening. You know, I always drop a little hint of the next listening. It is another Atlanta artist. That's all I'm gonna say. He from the ATL too. But we catch you guys next time. Kato, appreciate you.
Appreciate y'all, man. Thank you. Shout out to the chat too.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate y'all too.
Yep.